Nifty is meanwhile recovered from the lowest point of the day. Indian markets are actually outperforming, and it's outperforming quite decently. It did very well last week, and this week also it's doing much better than what the global counterparts are doing. R. Sridhar joins us, Executive Vice Chairman and CEO with Indostar Capital Finance. Umesh Revankar joins us. He is Vice Chairman and Managing Director with Shriram Transport. Umesh, good morning. Mr. Sridhar, good morning. Umesh, let's understand the impact of the second wave on the sector and the industry which you represent, because unlike the first lockdown, this time it's been a regional lockdown, but it's been a regional lockdown in important pockets which really matter to the entire CV industry. Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi. What's been your experience? Umesh, would you like to start with the first introductory?
You see, this time around, let us understand that it is state-wise, and every state has a different kind of lockdown. But most of the states have allowed functioning between 6 to 10 or 6 to 11. So therefore, there is nothing like total stoppage. And unlike the first time, none of the vehicle movements were restricted. Inter-district movements are restricted. Consumptions have been reasonably good. So, and agri activities have been continuous in the month of May and April and May. So, we did not see a total stoppage, a total stop down anyway. But the only thing is, number of people directly infected were little higher than the wave 1. So in the wave 1, maybe it was hardly 2 or 3%. Maybe in wave 2, it could be little higher by around 10% in some geography, if not all geography. So the business per se, activities per se did not stop. But people who were infected directly would have slowed down or been out of the business for some time. So we did not really see any kind of a total stopping. And we were functioning, all our offices were functioning within the limits or within the approval given by the local authority. And we were able to do business and meet customer and also collect money. So we do not really think the impact is as high as it was in the last year. But of course, last year there were other challenges and other support systems which were given by RBI and Government of India. This time around, the support is continuing, but it has been a little different. So I think the business has come back now. As on June 15th, most of the states, the business has come back. The construction activity or industrial activity, all other activities are continuing to be there. Only the offices and the shops, which are restricted up to 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock in some places, it is likely to get extended and it may become normal by the end of this month. That's what we believe.
Sridhar, how much of the lost business is back and what is happening on the collection front?
The collection has been pretty decent, I should say, because at this time when customers are keeping some cash, please understand that most of our customers, especially individual operators and owner operator, they are not having a health insurance or package, health package. They have to fend for themselves. So they are keeping cash. So they are earning. Most of our customers, they are not out of earning, they are earning. But they're keeping some cash with them for some kind of emergencies for them and for their family. So that is understandable. So little drop in collection doesn't matter at this time because they're keeping the cash for the emergencies.
Okay, so that seems to be the trend for the moment in terms of spending and really what's happening on that front. Let me also get a sense from you, Mr. Sridhar, in terms of, if we take a look at One of the biggest headwinds, of course, has been asset quality stress. Delinquencies also likely worsened in May. In terms of collection efficiency trends, how things have been, how they're starting to look now going forward, what are you factoring in?
See that there is a huge difference between COVID-1 and COVID-2. So COVID-1 has been national lockdown, but this time COVID-2 has been managed by the state governments. So as Umesh had said, some states like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu have been deeply impacted. So from March 2021, the collection challenges have started. So even though, there were companies which closed their accounts in May, have taken adequate provisioning, but between the facilities given by Reserve Bank of India, there is a huge difference. In the COVID-1, moratorium has been given for first 3 months. After that, it has been extended by another 3 months. Subsequently, after August, they have given restructuring facility also. But this time, unfortunately, moratorium has not been extended, only restructuring. So the restructuring comes with the conditions. It has to be standard by March, and once it is restructured, you cannot do restructuring again. So we do expect that all the lenders, particularly in the CV industry, will face credit cost going up, collections coming down. While the total collections have been near to 100% for all the companies, the billing to billing has been 75 to 80%. So there will be bucket movements, there will be increase in 90 plus, definitely for this quarter. The truck operators have had the impact due to various challenges they face. There is lower demand, there is also input costs have been going up, fuel prices, driver shortage, salaries of drivers going up. All these things have had an impact on the profitability. So there are many surveys which are reporting that out of the 3 installments, minimum 1 or 2, they may not be able to pay. That is what is coming up. Even though total collections are good, billing to billing, there will be gap, there will be bucket movements, forward movements, and there will be credit cost going up for the CV industry for this quarter. And subsequently, from next quarter, we do feel when the unlocking happens, there will be improvement, and there will be a lot of restructuring which will happen, which will help us not increase the credit cost during Q1.
Okay, so that's the trend coming in there. What about, Mr. Revankar, if we talk a little bit more in terms of the kind of NPA uptick we've seen, the kind of provisions that one is now keeping in mind going forward for FY22. In fact, recent reports by Credit Suisse expect the NPA ratio for vehicle finances to reach 8 to 11% by Q1 FY22. Do these numbers sound in line with what you're seeing?
See, basically, the customers whom we lend are earned to pay. When there is there's some kind of impact on their earning, or when their earning gets diverted for some other emergency, definitely there will be postponement of payment. So postponement of payment may result in certain moments, especially in the stage 2 and stage 3 buckets, and that will temporarily increase the your NPA. But I don't really think that it will have a long-term impact. It will be a short-term impact. For this quarter, there will be some movement from the stage 2 and the stage 3. And we believe next month next quarter it should become normal, because the pent-up demand is so large. None of the major activities like government spend or the infrastructural activity, none of them have slowed down significantly. The agri is doing well, e-commerce is doing well. There are so many sectors which are doing well. So we believe that temporary slip may not really have a long-term impact. However, as a conservative company, we would be looking at making provisioning, looking at likely impact for a long term. So whatever we feel that there will be impact, we are going to make a study out of it and make a provisioning in the first quarter itself. So there is no surprise going forward.
Right, sure. Mr. Sridhar, if I could pose the same question to you on whether or not you see delinquencies rising, whether you see a case for a rise in NPAs and higher provisioning going forward.
Yeah, definitely, because the environment is very challenging and truck operators are conserving cash because they want this COVID-2 to go. There is always a threat of COVID-3 coming. Everybody wants to conserve cash even though they are earn and pay. As Umesh had pointed out, some sectors are doing well, like your e-commerce, infra, petroleum, and construction materials. These are all have done well. But there is definitely a slower demand. With input cost going up, there is a challenge. So definitely there will be cost, credit cost will go up. And lenders have taken different routes. You know, there are some technical write-off companies have taken, there are AIRC transactions, and then there is also a provision. For example, if you take Indostar, they have taken a provision coverage ratio to 170%. And with the 400 crores of ECL, they have taken another 400 crores of management overlay. Because even when you have an opportunity to restructure, which I am thinking that it would be higher this time, there will be an additional provision you may have to do. So it is always better to provide for the rainy day, and that is what is the approach Indostar has taken. So we have adequate coverage of provision on a very, very conservative basis, taken all these, including the technical write-off and one AIRC transaction also we have done. So because of that, today we are well positioned. And if the unlocking happens and the truck industry comes back to normalcy by second half of this year, so we think that our growth will be there. The credit cost will be very, very less during FY22.
Sure. If I could take that point forward as well, Mr. Sridhar, because as I understand, there is also a big strategy change that you have undertaken at Indostar. I sense that on the sidelines of your quarterly numbers, you had also said that you're actually targeting to reduce the corporate book to less than 10% of the AUM by March 2022. And not just that, you're going to be focusing more on the youth CV as well as affordable housing segment. A, the feasibility of this, and do you see that the used commercial vehicle and affordable housing spaces are where there is growth that you foresee?
Yeah, definitely. Used to commercial vehicles is an area very few companies have managed so far. So I do see a lot of potential in that. We are going to cater to customers who have about two to three vehicles. We call it small fleet owners. And here the potential to lend is quite large. The organized players have a penetration of only 40 to 50%. And with new vehicles going through sluggish pace of sales, there is a huge demand for the used vehicles. And also the recent announcement by Government of India for scrappage of vehicles beyond 10 years is going to trigger a huge replacement demand. In my calculations, the potential in the next 3-4 years is going to be 100,000 to 125,000 crores if that 1 million vehicles which are more than 10 years has to be phased out. So if the scrappage policy comes into effect, there will be a huge demand, and there is a need for second-hand vehicle financiers in the country to make the modernization project of the government successful. So in that respect, I feel there is a huge demand for used commercial vehicle space, and that's where we are coming with a lot of aspiration. The second business is the affordable housing finance. Similarly, in the affordable housing finance, the government has come with a plan for housing for all. And the affordable housing finance space is a new one where few companies have really successfully built, but even the largest company have got only about 10,000 crore of book. In the last 3 years, we have generated about 1,000 crores with exceptional asset quality. The management team has delivered. So encouraged by that, now we are making that company independent, and we have promoted our business head as a CEO. We are going to bring in a new management team, and we are going to capitalize that to exploit the potential which is unfolding post-pandemic. So we are going to be in tier 2, tier 3 cities and mostly focus on self-construction house, which is going to be in great demand. So these two businesses are going to be the main focus for the next 5 years, where we have put a very aspirational plan. The new vehicles and the SME which we are doing will be an off-balance sheet strategy, because these two businesses are slightly lower yielding. So in that we have a big partnership with ICICI Bank. That partnership will help us in generating enough profitability through off-balance sheet methods. So I think we have enough strategies to build our retail book. While we have reduced our corporate book gradually, it is today at 22%, and we do hope that with retail growing and corporate lending coming down, it will become less than 10% by March 22 and become zero over a period of time.
Umesh, wonderful to have you both. Stay safe and certainly hope to see much more of you going forward. I'm just going to mark the markets right now. We're doing much better than what